What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I am good day to you all. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys my red hybrid deck for this week. This is a deck I entered in my locals with over at Destiny Fantasy Games. As well, we also have our Digimon recap for this week. So I hope you guys do enjoy that as well. So that's going to go up some right after this video goes up, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and we go into the red hybrid. So starting off are the Digitama, and there are 4 copies of BT14's Horomon being used here. Then moving on from there, we're going to go on into the deck itself. Starting off with the rookies, the level 3s. 2 copies of Ukamon from the tutorial beginners deck for 2023. Then we have 2 copies of Pokemon from BT7, 2 copies of Gatsumon from BT14, and then 2 copies of Gaussmon from BT12. Alright, from BT5. Then we have from BT4, 3 copies of Flamemon, 3 copies of Flamemon from BT7, and 3 copies of Flamemon from BT12. Alright, so that's all of the Flamemon. And that is it for the rookies. Now let's move on to the champions. The level 4s, we have 4 copies of, 3 copies of Agunimon, 3 copies from BT12, 3 copies of Burning Greymon from BT7, 3 copies of Burning Greymon from BT12, then 3 copies of Alvamon from BT7 to round out the 5s, because I don't have too many 4s anyway, and I don't have too many 5s, but that is the 5s and 4s right there. And then we're going to go into our 6s. I'm running 4 copies of Emperorgreymon from BT7. Now, the difference is that I have this artwork of BT7's Emperorgreymon. I have this copy of Emperorgreymon from BT7 because I actually like this one because it's the sword, but it has the spirits of water, the spirits of fire, the spirits of no, the spirit of wind, the spirit of ice, and the spirit of fire. So Zoe, um, Tommy, and Takuya are all together with their spirits. And then I have DT12's Emperorgreymon, which is the one that does the double security attack and stuff. So that is it for the Digimon. Moving on into the Tamers, of course, it is 4 copies each. Takuya Kanba from BT7 in BT12. Then for the option cards, it is 4 copies of Atomic Inferno and 4 copies of Crimson Tales. Alright, so that is it for everything while we go ahead and go through the explanations. So BT12's Koromon, when security is removed from your opponent, when the card is removed from your opponent's security, you draw 1 card. This is a basic Koromon, if anything, because the idea of the deck is to be rush and to be aggro. So that's why this Koromon, you can use the Yokomon, I believe. There's a Yokomon that people use as well from an earlier set that does a draw effect. I think it's like when discard attacks and it has X amount of DP, I think it draws. But I'm not too sure. But I know there's a Yokomon that they use as well instead of the Koromon. But you can use either one. But I choose these Koromon just because I ironically enough, have them. Alright, moving on from there, let's go into the deck itself. So, outside of the hybrids, um, we have the copies of Yokomon. Yokomon is very much here to just help do memory and to put stuff into the breeding area. It's a really good bring out for the breeding area, and it's a really good rookie that a lot of people like playing because of that. It's like every time you move something from the breeding area, you gain 1 memory and you get to hatch Digitama. So it helps you speed up the process. The thing is that there are a lot of issues with Red if you don't get the memory setting to Kuya as soon as possible, or you try to rush into Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is supposed to help with this, and Pokemon's ability is to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck to add one card with hybrid or 10 warriors in its trait, and then add a tamer to your hand. So, because Takuya is basically your only tamer, most of the time you're probably running into your hybrids or your 10 warriors. So you add them to your hand instead. I don't run any 10 warrior because that is a whole different build of red hybrid. That's red hybrid ancient gray, and ancient gray is very expensive. So I think the Emperorgreymon setup is a really, really good one. Pokemon does also give a bit of a memory boost as well for when a tamer digivolves. You can gain 2 memory. So you're basically just paying for the hybrid evolution at that point. Then I'm running for Floodgates. We have the 2 copies of the Goxamon and the 2 copies of the Gaussmon. So my issue with this is that I have a lot of these cards, but a lot of the fill-ins need to happen in order for things to work. And um, I really need to rely on searching for my tamer and trying to get things set up for Takuya, um, which I'll talk about more when I talk about my recap for this week. But yeah, these were basically just the non-hybrid cards that I was running for the deck, which were 2 of each. All right, then we're gonna move on into the hybrids, which is primarily the bulk of the Digimon themselves. So I was running 3 copies of Flamon from BT4. This is the one that on play reveal the top 4 cards of your 3 cards of your deck to add one tamer and one hybrid traded Digimon to your hand, and you place the rest of them on your deck. We have the other version, which is the one that reveals 4 to add either a hybrid Susanomon or Takuya among them to your hand and place the rest of the bottom of your deck in priority order. So you have at least 2 really good cards to help the search out on the first turn. And then you have the Flamon, which helps you set up for Emperorgreymon plays. Discard 1 card with hybrid in its trait to draw 2 cards. The inheritable on this one is that a Digimon with hybrid or 10 warriors plus 2 KDP, while the other one, the BT7 to Flamon, says you play one to you Canva from your hand without playing the memory cost on deletion. So we have really good Flamons right here. um, I was considering just going back to bumping these to 4s, just because it is very much needed to what these do. You have the set up the graveyard, set up the trash to use for the Takuya to get into the Emperorgreymon. You have the Flamon, who sets up things as well. Um, for the reveal to add the tamer or get the hybrid. And then you have the Flamon over here who gets both the tamer and the hybrid. So I didn't know there was some issues I had with the deck, and I'll talk about them when I do the recap. Um, it's really very funny, but it just shows that, yeah, I really have to do a lot more practicing with red hybrid. Which is funny though, because I have tremendous amounts with hybrid decks. It's just that this one is a lot different from what yellow does on its own. All right, moving on from the level 3s, we're gonna go into the 4s and 5s. So this is kind of where I know people are gonna be like, "Hey, you're not running enough of them," and I understand that. Because, like I said, I can easily just drop floodgates and put the numbers to 4s. So it is the 3 copies of Agunimon. Agunimon can de-digivolve onto a Burning Greymon. So if you go Burning Greymon on top of the Takuya, you can go Agunimon on top of the Burning Greymon. And on deletion, if this card, you can play a Flamon that's from your hand without paying the memory cost. So you can at least bring the Flamons to the board and now trigger their on play abilities so that you can either reveal to go look for cards or you can drop a card to discard. So you're either setting up for one thing or setting up for the other. Next up is the Burning Greymons, and I'm running 2 variations of those Burning Greymons. Oh, sorry, before I go any further, this is also a on deletion, you can play Takuya from your hand while playing memory cost. You can play the one with the memory, or you can play the one that gets in the Emperor Grey. Now, speaking of Greymons, here's Vitramon, who is not a Greymon, and I'm running both versions from BT7 and BT12. So the Greymon here to our left is the one that can be digivolved on top of a red on the Digimon that's using a red tamer, or on top of the red tamer. Then If a card with Takuya is in this card's digivolution sources, you can delete a Digimon that has 4K or less to get rid of some of the little smart fry. While the Burning Greymon to the right is the Burning Greymon that can be digivolved on top of the Digimon for one. And then on Digivolution, you can give it to KDP. Now, during your turn, as it's inheritable, it will be able to give a hybrid of 10 warriors an additional 2 KDP. So there's things that they can snap over. And like I said, with Red Hybrid, it's all about getting over things and just taking them out. Now let's move on to Aldemon. Aldemon is the only level 5 in the deck, and there are two variations of Aldemon. There's the one that can become Aldemon, replacing Takuya, Burning Greymon, and Agumon under it, and then you become the Aldemon. It is really, really cool. And then you have this Aldemon that, first, just like was it Jet Selfie, you can reduce the cost of this card if the Digimon you're Digivolving on top of becomes has a tamer under it. And then on Digivolution, if this card has hybrids in its trait, it gains any Digivolution sources. Um, you'll gain 4K DP for the turn, so you'll be 12K DP. Then on top of that, sorry about that, guys. Hold on 1 second. Ear was itching. Um, it's inheritable is that while this Digimon has 10 Warriors trait hybrid, it can be affected by your opponent's security option card. So you can get a lot of things like Wyvern's Wrath, um, Chaos Degradation, and stuff like that. It prevents the hurt on the Emperorgreymon that you're bringing out with this. That is the guys right there. And then we move on to our level 6, which is, of course, um, hold on 1 second, which is the Emperorgreymon. So this Emperorgreymon here is the one that gives the double security attack. And then on Digivolution, delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose DP is less than or equal to this one. And then, of course, if this card has a red tamer, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon whose DP is, yeah, so basically you can delete an opponent's Digimon who shares 6K, who is 6K or less. But if you have Takuya under it, or just any red tamer, then you can increase that amount even more. So you can get rid of things that way. And then on deletion, you can play Takuya from your hand or trash without paying the memory cost. So it just resets the board to set up. Then we have the Emperorgreymon from BT7. This is the one that has blades and can come into play. When your Digimon will be blocked, you can unsend it and gain a memory for each of the Digivolution sources that this card has with hybrid in its trait. So someone with blitz that's going to be blocked, and it can give you memory, and you can start bringing out more hybrids so you can end the game. It's a really good combination of things. I do enjoy having both variations. Because if I could, I definitely would try to fit in another files and then back out to change the artwork for my BT7 Emperor Greymon. Because I like this artwork more than I do. And the reason is because this one, the blade setup, the blade has the spirits of fire, the spirits of wind, and the spirits of ice. They have Zoe spirits, Tommy spirits, and Takuya spirits all in the alt art for this. This is the alt art, and I believe this is the original. So, alright, that is it for them. And now we're going to move on into the Tamers, which is only the little, and it's memory gaining Takuya at the start of your turn. Jump your memory 3 if it's or less. Its inheritable is that when your opponent's Digimon, when this Digimon has 2 KDP or more, um, no, gains 2 KDP, and if it has 1,000 or more, it gains, if your opponent if this card checks your opponent, when this card checks an opponent's security, you gain 2 memory, and that's once per turn. Then we have the Takuya from BT7, which is the one that goes into Emperorgreymon and treats itself as a level 4 for its evolution. Then on top of that, it says if a Digimon, if this card has gain CK, and then while it has 10K or more, an additional security attack. So that Blitzgreymon is hitting it for maybe 2 checks plus the any additional cards on it. Its own ability. Yeah, it's a pretty nasty thing with these. And you definitely run for these because it's Takuya and you get benefits from either one, which is perfect. So we're moving on from the Takuyas. And then we're going to move into the option cards. So Atomic Inferno and Crimson Blaze. Crimson Blaze is really good right now because there's so many decks that run so many different level. I mean, so many different 16 or less DP cards. So you basically just wipe them out. I see a lot of the ultimates and stuff. But the main thing about this is that your opponent can't play Digimon by effects. So this hurts stuff like Wugamon, um, Edamon, Sukai, and Bonze, and Numa. This definitely hurts D Brigade because D Brigade, the Commander mons, the cargo mons, and stuff like that, so many things, and especially because the Commander mons are so low in stat, you usually wipe the board with them and then prevent them from playing things until the end of the turn. So it's a really good counteract to that. Then we have Atomic Inferno, which only gives your Digimon plus 3k DP with an additional security attack. And if your opponent decides to block it, you can gain 3 memory. Um, and then it gives an additional security attack +1 to all your Digimon until the end of your next turn. If your opponent swings into this while it's in the security, your Digimon are gaining an additional security attack to basically choke them out and take things out the game. So you can end the quicker because that's what that hybrid itself does. So, alright, that is it for this deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. That is Takuya, that is not Emperorgreymon. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have the recap video up soon. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I do upload more content to the channel. My social media links are in the description box below. And with that said, guys, HPJ signing out. Take care.